morning, YouTubers, subscribers, people who are introverted, and of course the rest of you who just let YouTube run in the background while you're doing your homework or making out with your spouse. I greet you. Today's video, I had the chance of riding the new Superduke 2023 model, and this is my opinion of it. I know my opinion really doesn't matter because, let's face it, you didn't pay anything. But I suppose it has some value because you're paying for it in your time, and I do not believe in refunding you. So let's jump right in. Here's my completely honest opinion of this motorcycle, which may or may not help you in deciding to purchase one. Well, let's go with the basics. Seating position. The new Duke is refined. The seat is, I don't know, it's of a strange material, almost feels like plastic. It's comfortable, make no mistake. But let's speak of ergonomics, where the old 2018 version is where you could have a straight back, sit upright, relaxed position. The new one, you lean slightly forward in a more urgent manner. And myself already suffering from back pain. I cannot see any sort of long-term comfort from this thing. Great if you're at the track, it already promotes that sort of sporty and aggressive feel. Well, to each his own. So, old one, more relaxed, new one, more aggressive, more urgent. But let's not stop there. Ergonomics-wise, what about your feet? The old one, there's no other way I can put this, was made for tallish people, myself included. The new one is made for buyers of reduced height, vertically challenged. Wow. Point is that where am I going with this? Okay. Also, you feel more in the bike with the old one. The new one, your legs are spread apart further. And I don't know about you, but having your legs spread further as a man and then giving those great brakes a test only means that there's less leg to stop your balls from hitting the tank. Yeah, that's what it feels like. And the new seat, well, it's not that grippy, so you probably have to go for the KTM parts variant. Coming to further ergonomics, the bars. Okay. The old one, you got your switchgear, you got your starter, you've got your indicator and the horn underneath. And obviously those 4 switches where you can choose to see the tire pressures and how many liters per 100 you get on this bike. 2018 model, I am currently averaging 7.2 liters. I know that's underachievement. The British must have a proper summer. I am working on going to 10 per 100. Yep. But the new one, you've got this sort of flower petal directional button. While I was test riding it, I'm sure, like, if I don't, put the hand straight back, I might clip that or rip it off. It just feels kind of flimsy. The switchgear, the indicator, okay, you can find it, but there are so many buttons around it where they should have made it a different shape, maybe. The horn underneath, no. Then you've got a plus sign. Ladies and gentlemen, there are so many fucking switches. Even on the brake side, the right side, there's a little C1, C2 lever. I have no idea. I'm too old for this shit. Okay? I'm sure some Japanese rider can set this thing to make yourself put popcorn in the microwave and call Elon Musk. I have no idea. It's overly complicated. If there was an option to remove most of those things, please do. Christ, keep it simple. And again, this is the way of the future by the looks of it. The LCD screen, okay, it's bigger. Is it better? No. it looks like an old iPhone. You've got this LCD screen, nice bright colors, all of that, and then you've got this bezel around it where you really question. We are in the age of smartphones where, the notch debate is still happening and everybody wants slim bezels. Why is this an issue on the bike? I mean, is it cheaper? Or I don't know. It just looks like an afterthought. Where the 2018 model, the bezels are on the sides bigger, but that's because there are all the warning lights. And it also sits, well, it's less noticeable, let's put it that way. Where the new one, you look down, you can see it. It kind of takes away from the feeling that you're flying with the old one. But I digress. Handlebars position, again, it's slightly tilted forward, so you are sitting forward, as I mentioned. And there's a lot more plastic around the tank. Probably why that's what's making you spread your legs. I never knew that you could spread legs using plastic. I always thought the gynecologists use steel. Never mind. Where was I? Coming to the suspension. Now, here is a definite improvement. It's tuned from the factory to be very unforgiving. It's sharp. It lets you feel everything on the road, which means potholes and uneven surfaces. Well, like a porn star going on your backside. Either you will enjoy it or you won't. I'm of the latter, unless he takes me out to dinner first and uses plenty of lube and has soft hands, warm hands. Coming to the looks. Look, I own a murder black bike and I think it looks fantastic. The one I rode was in bright orange and, I don't know, the bright orange, it's a bit of an eyesore. I cannot see myself riding that bike with a hangover. But at least you're noticeable. Personally, the new one, get rid of all the bloody plastic. Jesus, KTM, what are you trying to cover up? I know you're trying to sculpt something, but okay. Example. This is a 701 Supermoto. Okay, notice, very minimal, right? That's what supermotors are. They took old two-stroke dirt bikes and put some street tires on. This is the 890 SMT from KTM, which I also had a look at. It's got a schnoz like nobody's business. And if you see it up close and personal, the coolant reservoir sits right close to the handlebars. There's just so much plastic. It just lengthens the bike. But again, and it's wide and I don't know, maybe I'm too old school, but when you want supermoto means you are crazy. You are doing off-road, you're doing on-road, and you don't care for niceties such as windscreens or traction control and all that. Take a normal road bike, take the fairings off, and call it a supermoto. And I think that's what KTM did here. They just took their 890, added more plastic, and called it SMT, which is a shame. Tires are great. They're round, black. What else comes there? Oh, yeah, the brakes. Okay, I rode a bike that had only a couple of 1,000 kilometers on, but the brake lever feel, it's also very clinical. Okay, I've been saving the worst for last. The engine. My 2018 could eat it, but then again, mine's tuned to 188 horses because I had it dyno tuned. Where the stock bikes, they get loaded with a map which was made in a laboratory with one sample or example bike. When I took the new one out, okay, it didn't have an aftermarket can, so it was quiet and you could really taste the Euro 6 legislation. It went fast. You could twist the throttle and it went there, but it went there so linear, so how do you say, boring, that you didn't even notice that you were suddenly going 160. It was effortless, and because you're sitting leaning forward, the wind, didn't buffer you as badly. So there's that. But here's the big thing: the mirrors. When I was riding it in sixth gear, 120, letting it idle on the road and then twisting the throttle because I wanted to overtake one, the engine went, okay, onomatopoeia here, but it felt like I was in 2 gears too high. Okay, I dropped to 5th. It still gave me that. Only in 4th at 120 did the engine tell me, okay, I'm comfortable in this, let's overtake. 4th gear, 120, even, let's say you wanted to cruise 6th gear, 120, you've got some miles or kilometers to chew on. What is it like? Okay, as I mentioned, wind buffeting isn't bad. The forward leaning position may give you back problems, but the vibrations are going to annoy you. Yeah, vibrations. At 110 kilometers, the right-hand mirror, you couldn't see anything out of it. It was like someone took out the balancer shaft. And it wasn't fun. I honestly tell you, OEM stock, OEM seat, it didn't feel fun. Yeah, it was fast, it was all of that, but the engine just vibrated at every gear. Even if you went slightly above the speed limit, like 180 in 6th gear, you couldn't see out of the mirrors. It was a complete hazard. That's why I'm saying this is supposed to be on the track where you don't need mirrors. And that's no fun. Where the 2018 model, granted, dyno tuned, but I can cruise comfortably 5th gear, 120, and the engine says, no problem, boss. The new one, I don't know. It just feels so unrefined. The engine is unrefined, but everything else is Euro 6 refinement. It boggles the mind. It's like KTM removed the soul of the engine. I didn't have fun, the sort of hooligan, balls to the wall, I'm going to die, crazy fun. Okay? Where I jumped on my 2018 again, and I'm like, this thing's going to kill me. But fuck it. I'm going to hit that wall with a smile on my face. Where the new one was like, I guess I should worry on the repayment terms per month, or how am I going to afford the fuel? And you don't want to think about that while riding a motorcycle. The motorcycle is supposed to say, hey, boss, we got a full tank. Where the fuck do you want to go? We're going to strip the tires and make you feel so much better. It's a story of 2 Dukes. The 2018 Duke can be likened to a Duke of the Middle Ages. You know the type. Unshaven, bit of a beer belly, went across the towns, through wild orgies, and the peasants knew that he was a drunkard, he was boisterous, he threw the best parties, and the women loved that. And then you've got this 2023 Duke. He's refined, he still, throws orgies, gets drunk, but now he's got a team of spin doctors in front of him. Heck, he probably wears a condom too. And that's what you have to choose. You have to either you go for the wild one, the unpredictable one, or the refined one. I don't know about you ladies, but I know which one I'll stick with.